Hello and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Favorite Sports, and I am back in South Africa. So this is the first video in well over a month. Actually, I've recorded. I got back this morning, and I'm settled back into the old office. And whilst you might not see anything literally change or behind me, obviously, it is a new environment for me. I'm back in the old environment really, and what a trip it was. We will be putting out a video in the next couple of days, a bit of a reflection on the trip, and mostly just to say thank you to everyone who made the trip possible, and to everybody we saw. Actually, I mean, I've actually lost count of how many people we saw that recognized the mic, that recognized me, for example, that we sort of that messaged us, we met up with. It was phenomenal to go meet up with so many fans. But the reason I'm putting out this video, breaking news: England team is announced, and that is the team that will be taking on the Springboks this weekend in the semi-final. Lots of continuity. And an injury to Marcus Smith has necessitated that change there. And apart from that, just a few tweaks by Steve Borthwick. So before we go through this team and sort of pick out some of the danger man, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do smash like on the video as well. Right, so the two changes that were not forced and that are just tweaks from the bench to the starting lineup are Joe Marler comes in to start, as does George Martin. As a result, your tight five looks a little something like this. In the front row, you've got Joe Marler, Jamie George, and Dan Cole. Interesting decision to start Joe Marler. A lot of people have already sort of cottoned on to the fact that they reckon that front row is a bit slow, for example, and the Boks might look to try and get them moving around the park. The last time Joe Marler saw the Boks in the World Cup is he was watching Cheslin Colby, streak away from him, which is not really his fault. I mean, it's a shame. He beat Owen Farrell, who had to make the tackle. Not much you could really ask Joe Marler to do. But yeah, Joe Marler is back, as is Dan Cole. So lots of experience there next to Jamie George, who's playing very good rugby. So it's a decent front row. In the second row, Mario Itoje, for me, looked back to close to his best last weekend. Yes, it was against Fiji, but still, that was far more than Mario Itoje that England have been waiting to see. He's got a new lock partner this week in George Martin, who starts ahead of Ollie Chessum. The loose trio, Courtney Laws, Tom Currie, Ben Earl. Ben Earl was absolutely fantastic last weekend. Courtney Laws is world class. I'm a massive Courtney Laws fan. I think that when he's playing well, England play well, and I think that he's a player made for the big occasions. So I expect lots of good things from him. So it's a very good pack. Tom Currie will give me a threat at the breakdown, for example. It's a fantastic lineup. It really is a great lineup with Laws, Itoje, and Martin. I think they're going to be a really good line-out outfit. I think that's going to be a very difficult set piece for the Boks to really compete and try to turn around line ball. But also, even our own ball, I think that's going to be an area that I think England are going to try and have a go at us, is trying to turn out sort of line-out ball. If you look at the back line, just the one change which is full back. So Alex Mitchell will continue his partnership next to Owen Farrell. I thought Mitchell struggled a little bit last weekend, but I thought Owen Farrell dropped the masterclass against Fiji. It, for me, reminded everybody about his ability and why he's so good in the 10 jersey. I thought he just didn't put a step wrong. Your two wings are Elliot Daly and Johnny May. So a nice big boot in Elliot Daly. Obviously a lot of pace from Johnny May. Experience are both campaigners. In the midfield, Manu Tuilagi will look to try and capitalise on that try scored last week by sort of bringing that form into this weekend. He's got Joe Marchant outside him. Pretty Stewart. Fantastic in the air. Not maybe as quick or as sort of X-Factor-ish as Marcus Smith, but a very solid and strong ball carrier. Comes in at 15. Off the bench, Theo Dan, Edith Genge, Carl Sinclair will be looking to make an impact next against that Springbok front row coming off the bench, which has made such a big impact of late. Ollie Chess and Billy Vanapola are the other two forwards. Then you've got Danny Kerr, George Ford, and Ollie Lawrence. I don't even think George Ford got into the park last weekend, which for me was obviously bizarre. I was a big advocate of him starting, actually. I was very surprised when they went with Owen Farrell, who then justified a selection, which is fine. And, players are allowed to do that. You're allowed to sit there saying, I would have preferred this player. And then when a player plays well, you can sit there and say, cool, well, fair enough. Asking or suggesting that a player should play against another one doesn't mean you hate either player. It just means based on form, based on lineup, based on the situation, you think that this is the player that's right for the pick. But sometimes players will stand up and they'll outperform, or they'll sort of raise their level of the game. That doesn't mean that you're wrong to criticize them before, but I think that's exactly what Owen Farrell did. I don't think he really warranted the start last week. But if you looked at George Ford versus Owen Farrell in the group stage, but then look at what the performance that Owen Farrell produced last weekend. Again, a bit like Courtney Laws, he's a man made for the big stage. Is Owen Farrell, whether you like him or not, you can't deny that. He's come and clutched a lot of big games, and last weekend was the same. So it's a good English side. It's a side that it was a non-World Cup, and it was just a test that Twickenham, for example, I'd back the Boks to be able to get the job quite comfortably done. It is the World Cup semi-finals, so absolutely anything can happen, and there are players in this team who have a lot to prove based back in 2019. You know, a lot of these players involved in that final, a lot of them will be hurting from that final. We want to go out and make a statement to go and try and knock the Boks out of the World Cup, get themselves into an unlikely World Cup final, and give them a chance of winning the Webb Ellis Trophy. Can this team beat the Springboks? Let me know down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.